Hey everyone, welcome back to Nightlight, your home for learning and gear reviews in narrative filmmaking. Today we're diving into something incredibly valuable for anyone working in film production. Lessons learned from my past mistakes in pre through post-production. As a director, producer, or anyone involved in the creative process, it's crucial to learn from each project so you can avoid repeating the same mistakes. With social media today, everyone is quick to publish their wins and successes, but rarely do we see anyone willing to publish their failures and mistakes. I don't understand why this ever became a thing. I seek to make as many mistakes as I can, as long as I get another chance at correcting them. I've always believed that's where the learning is. But before we get into these issues, I want to stress to all of you that your first anything, whether it's your first film, your first color grade, your first edit, it's going to be ugly. Too many people across history have quit too early simply because their first attempt at something didn't yield the results they see from others, remarking, "Hey, I have a $100,000 Arri camera. Greg Fraser shoots with an Arri. Why doesn't it look like Dune?" Imagine how long Greg has been a cinematographer, and you're wondering why your first film doesn't look like something he shot just because you have his same camera. Imagine how insulting that is to Greg, wondering why your first attempt at filmmaking doesn't look like something he shot. Everyone from Greg Fraser to Steven Spielberg had an ugly first film. It took a lot of mistakes to get them to where they are today. You're on that same journey. So to help you along, today I'm sharing my list of lessons learned from our previous productions to help you avoid these same pitfalls in your next project. So let's get into it. I've broken this video up into chapters of pre-production and production. First, let's talk about lessons learned in pre-production. Number 1, storyboarding and shot planning. One of the critical lessons I've learned in my journey through various productions is the importance of thorough pre-visualization. In past projects, I focused on creating detailed shot decks, collections of still images that convey the mood, composition, and visual style I wanted to achieve from other films. But I often skipped a crucial step, creating a full storyboard. Now, don't misunderstand me, shot decks are great. They help set the tone and give everyone a visual reference for the look we're aiming for. As a matter of fact, my favorite site for creating our shot decks is shotdeck.com. If you haven't heard about it, check it out, go set up an account, and browse their library of images. Without a storyboard though, I found myself and my team lacking a clear, frame-by-frame guide that could effectively communicate the flow of action, camera movement, and timing. This oversight led to miscommunications on set, wasted time, and sometimes even reshoots. We had the visual style down, but the lack of a storyboard meant we were figuring out the pacing and transitions on the fly, something that could have been avoided with better preparation. Going forward, I make sure that the storyboards are part of every project's pre-production phase. They help align the entire team on what each shot needs to accomplish and how we get there. It's about bridging the gap between vision and execution. Now, with generative AI, it's a lot easier to create storyboards if you're not an artist. Number 2, know what the required documents are that need to be delivered to SAG-AFTRA before and during the project. This is relevant to SAG-AFTRA contracts, obviously, but we typically shoot under a new media agreement, which is for online streaming distribution, where there's strict deadlines on deliverables, such as contracts with your talent, time cards, and more. If you have the budget, delegate all your SAG responsibilities to a single person with experience in working with SAG-AFTRA. I attempted to do this myself early on, but I quickly realized that that was a huge mistake. Create a document matrix of every document due to SAG and its corresponding deadline. A lot of these documents due to SAG can't be created after the fact in post-production if you failed to do it in pre or on set. Working with union talent brings a level of professionalism and quality to your projects, but it also comes with specific obligations. Early in my career, I underestimated how detailed and time-sensitive the paperwork could be. Failing to submit the right documents on time can lead to costly delays, misunderstandings, even penalties. It's not just about getting the talent on board. It's about ensuring everything is in place so that the production can run smoothly from start to finish. Also, Knowing ahead of time what your financial obligations are to talent under the contract, such as payment for travel days or per diems for those flying in from their home, is critical to the budgeting process to ensure all of these things are properly budgeted for. Now, I make it a point to start every project with a clear checklist of what needs to be delivered, when, and to whom, and ensure that the person on our crew responsible for the SAG relationship has these fully documented and understood. This not only ensures compliance, but also builds trust with the union and the talent you're working with. Number 3, create a budget and track it appropriately. One of the most important lessons I've learned in production is the necessity of creating a detailed budget and treating it as a living document throughout the entire process. In the past, I'd create a budget at the beginning of a project, and then, to be honest, I wouldn't always keep up with it as the production progressed. This led to some unpleasant surprises, such as budget overruns that could have been avoided. Now I understand that a budget isn't just a one-time task. It's a living, breathing document that needs constant attention. Every expenditure, no matter how small, needs to be tracked and measured against the original budget. This process helps catch potential overruns before they become a problem. It also provides a clear financial picture that helps in making informed decisions, whether it's reallocating funds, cutting costs, or adjusting priorities to stay within that budget. We use a platform called Wrapbook, an all-in-one software platform for employers and their project-based workers. It allows us to tackle onboarding, time cards, payroll, and insurance for managing our productions. You can sign up for an account right now at wrapbook.com. All right, number 4. Avoid letters in your scene numbers. One of the challenges we've encountered on set is the use of lettered scene numbers. While platforms like Final Draft or Studio Binder, both of which we use and love, automatically pen letters to scene numbers when new scenes are added after the script is locked, this can create unnecessary complications during filming. On set, each camera angle is typically denoted with a letter after the scene number. For example, the first angle might be slated as scene 3A, and subsequent angles as 3B, 3C, and so on. But if your script already has a scene labeled as 3A, things can quickly get confusing. This creates a dilemma. Do you label the first angle as 3A1, or do you double up with 3AA or 3AX? It becomes a logistical nightmare, making it difficult to maintain consistency and clarity. To avoid this confusion, it's best to keep scene numbers simple, no letters, during pre-production. This ensures that when you're on set, you can label each angle clearly and consistently without second guessing or errors. So don't lock that script until you're literally headed to set. Sometimes I'll even lock the script the morning of as I'm on my way. All right, number 5, don't skip the location scout. One of the most critical steps in pre-production is location scouting. It's easy to overlook, but failing to thoroughly scout and document locations can lead to significant challenges during shooting. In the past, I didn't always prioritize location scouting as much as I should have. We'd arrive on set and spend valuable time figuring out the best shooting spots, time that could have been saved with proper planning. Using tools like Catridge, which is an app you can download on your iPhone or Android, allows you to take photos of each location and choose your exact shooting spots well in advance. This kind of preparation not only saves time, but also helps you visualize the scene more accurately, ensuring that your vision comes to life exactly as you imagined. Another game changer is using a 360-degree camera for location scouting. If you can't personally be there to visit each location, this technology allows you to explore this space in detail remotely. It's especially useful when someone is scouting for you. You can make informed decisions about camera placement, lighting, and blocking. Ideally, as the director, you should be involved in the location scouting process, but I understand that it's not always possible due to time constraints or other commitments. In those cases, leveraging technology like Catridge or a 360-degree camera ensures you're still making informed decisions and maintaining control over the visual narrative. Location scouting isn't just about finding a place to shoot. It's about setting the stage for your entire production. Proper planning in this area can make all the difference between a smooth shoot and a chaotic one. All right, number 6, delegate but don't abdicate casting decisions. One of the lessons I've learned the hard way is the importance of being directly involved in the casting process. While it might seem practical to delegate casting, especially if you have the budget for a casting director, your involvement as the director is crucial. As a director, you have a unique vision for your characters, and no one knows them better than you do. Especially with me, for example, I'm also the writer, so I created these characters along with Mel in the writing room. Even if you're only involved in the final audition, your presence can make all the difference. It ensures that the actors chosen truly align with your creative vision. We've also learned the value of screen tests. An actor might shine during auditions, but once they're on set, under the lights and in front of the camera, it's a different story. Screen tests help you see how an actor handles the pressures on the set, ensuring that they can deliver when it counts. In the end, casting is more about than just finding talented actors. It's about finding the right actors who can bring your vision of these characters to life. Your involvement is key to making that happen. Number 7, set purchase approval policies early with all crew members. One of the most painful lessons I've learned in production is the importance of clearly communicating purchase approval policies to your crew. This might seem like a minor detail, but it can have a major impact on your budget. Crew members, especially those in specialized roles like VFX makeup, often need specific materials that can be quite costly. Without clear guidelines, you might find yourself surprised with large, unexpected bills at the end of production, bills you didn't approve and did not budget for. To prevent this, it's essential to set the tone early. No purchases over a certain amount will be reimbursed unless they're pre-approved. This isn't just about controlling costs, it's about maintaining transparency and ensuring that everyone is on the same page. Making this policy clear from the start helps avoid misunderstandings and keeps your budget intact. It also empowers your crew to make informed decisions, knowing that they have your approval before spending on expensive materials. Number 8, define the list of expected reports with the individual department heads. Another critical lesson I've learned, which is actually affecting us here in Shadow Unit right now, is the importance of setting clear expectations with your sound and camera departments about the reports that they produce on set. These reports are critical to the post-production team like editorial, who will rely on these reports to be more efficient with their time. This might seem like a small detail, but these reports are vital to the smooth running of your production. Early in my career, I didn't always communicate what reports were expected as output from each department. This led to gaps in documentation that made post-production more challenging than it needed to be. Reports like the camera report, scripted report, camera media report, line script, sound report, daily production report, and location reports are not just paperwork. They're essential tools that help everyone stay aligned and ensure that no details are missed. Setting these expectations from the start ensures that your crew understands what's needed and why it's important. It also helps to avoid any last-minute confusion or incomplete documentation that could slow your post-production process. I want to quickly explain what each of these reports are at a minimum and why they're needed. Number 1, your camera report or shot log. What it should contain is the production details, such as the production date, the location, the production title, episode number, and scene number. Camera information, such as camera types, lenses used, frame rate, resolution. Also, shot information, including the scene number, take number, description of the shot, duration of the shot, and any specific camera settings such as exposure, ISO, that sort of thing. Any relevant notes about the shot, for example, issues during filming, retakes, or specific instructions for the editor. Clapboard information such as time codes, slate number, and any other relevant clapboard details. And finally, the file name and number, the exact digital file names corresponding to each take to ensure no footage is missed during post-production. Number 2, the script supervisor report, or typically referred to as a scripted report. This should contain the scene and take information, a log of every scene, shot, and take filmed, including the corresponding slate number. Continuity notes, which contains detailed notes on continuity, including wardrobe, makeup, props, and set dressing to ensure consistency between shots. Performance notes, such as notes on actor performances, including which takes were particularly strong or weak. Technical notes, such as information on any technical issues or special instructions for post-production. circle takes, such as an indication of which takes the director approved or circled for potential use in the final edit. And finally, sound notes. Any notes related to audio, including any issues with dialogue or background noise that may need to be addressed in post-production. Number 3 is the camera media report. This should contain the file directory, a complete list of all digital files or rolls captured with the corresponding file name and number, corresponding seat and shot and take information containing detailed matching of each file with the scene number, shot number, and take number it represents. Backup status, an indication of whether each file has been backed up and the location of the backups. Media type, containing the description of the media type, such as SD card, SSD, other types of media used to capture each shot. And notes, any additional notes on the footage, such as data transfer issues, file corruption concerns, or special instructions for the editor. The line script. This should contain copies of the script pages with lines drawn to indicate which portions of the script were covered by which takes. Director's notes. Any notes from the director or scriptee about the preferred takes or specific performance instructions. Coverage notes containing an indication of whether the scene was fully covered by multiple angles and takes, or if any parts of the script were not filmed. And finally, circle takes. Highlights that were selected by the director's best options for editing. You may notice some overlaps between these different reports, so pick and choose, and most importantly, do this with your post-production team, like your editorial, to ensure these reports contain everything they expect to receive. Number 9, give a presentation during the table read on important things to know, since many of the cast and crew members may be working with you for the first time. This sets the tone for the entire production and ensures everyone is on the same page. I like to start by explaining my directing style, which is inspired by Judith Weston. I make it clear to my talent that I'm not a result director, meaning I don't tell actors exactly what I want from them for a given scene, especially when it comes to emotional, visceral responses. This helps actors feel more comfortable and confident in their roles. The table read is also the perfect time to cover safety concerns or any unique aspects of the shooting locations. For instance, on Shadow Unit, we filmed at a closed-down prison and a fully operational hospital. These locations required specific safety protocols, and it was crucial to communicate these clearly to the cast and the crew. This presentation also gives me the opportunity to set expectations with crew members. I go over the reports we expect as discussed in the previous lesson and ensure that everyone knows what's required from them. It's about creating a shared understanding from the very beginning and communicate to your cast and crew the professionalism and high bar you set for yourself in planning. Taking the time to give this presentation during the table read not only helps the cast and crew feel more connected to the project, but it also ensures that we're all working together seamlessly with a clear understanding of our goals and expectations. Next, let's cover lessons learned in production. Number 1, review the script before each scene with the talent. One of the most effective practices I've adopted during production is taking the time to review the script with the talent before each scene. This simple step can have a profound impact on the quality of the performance and the overall outcome of the scene. Before we shoot, I like to sit down with the actor and go over the scene. This gives them the opportunity to ask any questions they might have about their character's emotions or the scene's arc. It's a moment for us to align on the vision and ensure that they feel fully prepared. By reviewing the script together, we create a safe space where the actor can gain a deeper understanding of their character's journey. This not only leads to a better outcome on screen, but also helps the actor feel more confident and connected to the material. It's all about preparation and communication. When the actor feels secure in their understanding of the scene, it shows in their performance. They can fully immerse themselves in the character, knowing that they have the support and clarity that they need. Taking the time to review the script with your talent isn't just a courtesy. It's a crucial step in crafting a scene that resonates with authenticity and emotional depth. Remember, your job as a director is to ensure you create a safe space for your talent to try things that might not work. Number 2, expose for talent inside and the scene outside windows. One of the key lessons I've learned during production is the importance of exposing for daylight windows, not just the talent. It's a common scenario. You're focused on your actor giving the perfect shot, and then you realize the background outside the window is completely blown out. This can be a frustrating mistake, but it's entirely preventable. To avoid this, always check your exposure levels using a calibrated monitor or a waveform. This ensures that both your interior and exterior elements are well balanced, giving you a shot that's visually pleasing and professionally executed. Balancing the exposure between your talent and the daylight coming through a window can be tricky, but it's worth the extra effort. It's all about creating a harmonious image where both the actor and the environment are showcased beautifully. Remember, it's not just about the actor, it's about the entire frame. By paying attention to your exposure levels, you can avoid those blown out windows and achieve a more polished and professional look in your scenes. Number 3, catch overacting and don't be afraid to provide redirection to actors. I like to say, let's try something different that might not work. One of the challenges you'll often face as a director is identifying and addressing overacting. It's particularly common in emotional scenes like anger, where the intensity of the moment can lead to performances that feel exaggerated or forced. Overacting can pull the audience right out of the moment, breaking the emotional connection you're trying to build. That's why it's so important to provide clear direction to your actors, encouraging them to deliver a natural, subtle performance. If you notice any over-emoting during filming, do not be afraid to ask for adjustments. It's better to take the time to get it right than to settle for a performance that feels over the top. Remember, less is often more. Subtlety can be incredibly powerful. By guiding your actors towards more nuanced performances, you create moments that resonate with the audience and feel authentic to the story that you're telling. Identifying and correcting overacting isn't about dampening emotion. It's about channeling it in a way that feels real and impactful. Always strive for performances that draw the audience in rather than pushing them away. Set the expectation with your second AC to loudly and slowly communicate scene and take numbers when announcing. One of the seemingly small but crucial details in production is setting the right expectations with your second AC. It's more than just a formality. It's about ensuring clear communication that will save you a lot of time and headaches in post-production, I promise you. Make sure your second AC knows to announce the scene and take numbers loudly and slowly. This helps everyone on set, including the sound team and the camera operators, to be on the same page. It's also critical that the slate stays in the frame long enough to be captured properly. Also, be clear about the phonetic system you want to use for announcing letters, whether it's military or law enforcement phonetic alphabet. For example, Bravo versus Baker, consistency is key. This eliminates any confusion when you're dealing with multiple takes and scenes. It might seem like a minor detail, or your second AC might feel like you're nitpicking, but a clear, consistent slate announcement is vital. It makes syncing audio and video in post-production smoother if there are any issues with timecode, and ensures that everyone involved in the editing process has the information that they need right there on screen. Number 5, ensure dailies are created and reviewed at the end of every production day. One of the most critical habits to develop during production is the daily review of dailies. No matter how tired you are at the end of the day, making sure dailies are created and reviewed every night is essential. As a matter of fact, Eddie Hamilton actually reviews the dailies in the car on the way back from set. It's tempting to skip this step, especially after a long day on set, but dailies are your first opportunity to catch any issues, whether it's a performance that needs adjustment, a technical glitch, or a shot that didn't turn out as expected. By reviewing the dailies every night, you can make informed decisions about what needs to be reshot or adjusted the next day prior to talent getting on their flight home. It's much easier to fix something while you're still on set than to discover a problem in post-production when it's too late. It's a commitment, but one that pays off. The fatigue is worth it. Trust me, I know. At the end of a production day, you are tired. You're ready to get to bed, but the fatigue is worth it when you know that each day's work is solid and you're staying on track. Reviewing dailies is about maintaining control over the quality of your project, making sure that every detail is as it should be. Number 6, ensure that your DIT and or data wrangler are setting the scene and take number on the clips as they're being dumped. One of the lessons we've learned through experience is the importance of proper metadata entry by the DIT, particularly when it comes to scene and take numbers. This might seem like a minor detail, but it's crucial for maintaining organization and efficiency in post-production. We use Pomfret Silver Stack in our DIT technology stack, which allows our DIT to set the metadata for each clip right as it's being imported. This includes critical information like scene number and take number, which is essential for keeping everything organized as we move through production and into post. When the metadata isn't set properly, it can lead to confusion and delays in post-production, not to mention having to re-enter it yourself in your NLE. Imagine trying to piece together a scene when the clips aren't labeled correctly. It's a headache that can be easily avoided with proper metadata management on set. If you do the work well on set, you won't have to do this work later in the edit room. By ensuring that the DIT sets the scene and take numbers correctly, we streamline the entire post-production process. It's about creating a seamless transition from set to editing, where everything is organized and easy to find. Proper metadata entry isn't just a technical detail, it's a foundational part of keeping your production on track. With tools like Silver Stack or Assimilate DIT Pack Plus, there's no excuse for missing or incorrect information. It's all about setting yourself up for success from the very start. Number 7, build props and other set dressing once you arrive on set. We often made the mistake of leaving set dressing like practical lighting, other items like that in the truck to be built as needed. It's a huge mistake. One of the lessons we've learned the hard way is the importance of building props and setting up other set dressing as soon as you arrive. It might seem convenient to leave things like practical lighting or other elements in the trucks to be assembled as needed, but trust me, it's a huge mistake that you'll end up paying for in time later. We made this mistake in the past, thinking it would save time to build things as we needed them. What ended up happening was a lot of wasted time and unnecessary stress at the start of the scene when everyone is ready to roll. By the time we realized we needed something, we were already behind schedule. Now we make sure to build everything as soon as we get on set. This includes practical lighting, props, and other set dressing. It's about being prepared so that when it's time to shoot, everything is already in place and we can focus on getting the perfect shot. Number 8. Be liberal in takes. One of the lessons I've learned over time is the value of doing enough takes. It's tempting, trust me, it's tempting to move on once you get a good take, but just because you have one doesn't mean you shouldn't push for another. Remember, in production, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. Having your actors emote lines in different ways can give you options in post-production. Sometimes a subtle change in delivery can make all the difference in how a scene plays out. It's better to have multiple great takes to choose from rather than one that's good enough. When you have several strong takes, it might be tough to choose the best one in post, but that's a good problem to have, right? It gives you the flexibility to craft the scene in the editing room and find the perfect balance of emotion and pacing. Don't settle for the first good take. Keep the momentum going and encourage your actors to try different things. The more options that you have in post, the more control you'll have over the final product. All right, that's it. As we wrap up, I want to emphasize that each of these lessons learned comes from real-world experience that shaped me as a director and helps me grow. From the earliest stages of pre-production to the final touches in post, every detail matters. Whether it's taking the time to properly prepare with storyboards, setting clear expectations with your crew, or making sure you do enough takes to give yourself options in post, each step is crucial in bringing your vision to life. It's about being thorough, staying adaptable, and always striving for excellence, no matter how small the detail may seem. Remember, filmmaking is a collaborative effort. It's about communication, preparation, and attention to detail. By applying these lessons, you're not just avoiding mistakes, you're setting yourself up for success, ensuring that every project you work on is a step forward in your journey as a filmmaker. Every lesson learned is an opportunity to improve, refine your craft, and create something truly remarkable. Keep pushing, keep learning, and keep creating. The work you put in today will shape the stories that you tell tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and I hope these lessons help you as much as they've helped me. Remember, fail often and fail forward. Lessons are found when things go wrong, not when they go right. Until next week, take care of yourselves and each other.